and I was ready to work my little tushy off. Glee Project kind of fell into my lap, and I got my first Broadway audition when I was 28. I've never really taken acting classes. I'm a hard on my sleeve kind of person, and if I was shot out of a cannon.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second edition of the Interview with a Broadway Star. My name is Dan Zagori, and I'm a Broadway and theatre blogger. So, I know that you're watching me from different places in the world, so give me pluses in the chat and also write the name of the city or a place that you're watching me from. So, today, as you can see by that poster, I'm a massive Wicked fan. And for this talk or Q&A session, I have invited a special guest that she is actually playing a role of Elphaba in the Broadway production of Wicked. So here are the top 5 facts about her. So Wicked is her first Broadway production. She's 29 years old. She's originally from California, but currently works and performs in New York City. She was deaf for the first 6 months of her life, but became a professional singer. And she's also a sister of a profound professional soccer player, Heather Pearce. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's already waiting to go online. So, and I just forgot to say, write down the questions that you want to ask Heather online and give it up for Heather Lindsay Pearce. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, can you, no, I can't, can you hear me?
How about now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Beautiful. Hi.
Yeah. How are you doing today? Are you good?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah.
I'm great, thank you. How was your morning?
Great. It's still going. Yeah, it's good. It's hot here in California, but you know, it's kind of what we love it. We love California for it, so.
Yeah, great. I will start with the first question. So, although you were a theatre student at the Modesto College, junior college, you have actually never performed in the professional theatre, and now you're in the theatre. So, how hard was it to start performing on Broadway at the age of 29?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I'd never done professional in theatre in terms of Broadway, but I have been professionally performing since I was about 16 or 17. So I went to college when I was from 16 to 19. I left high school early and I went to my junior college because I wanted to learn about voice and I wanted to learn about Shakespeare and I wanted to learn dance. And my plan was to get a Bachelor in Fine Arts, go to a 4-year uni and get my degree and go to New York and be a struggling artist. And then Glee Project came along and kind of took me away. And so I've been doing theater professionally and non-professionally in Los Angeles for like 10 years. I've done ship jobs. I've been a cruise ship performer. I've won Broadway World and Broadway.com awards in Los Angeles for performances, which has been the coolest thing. It's been really, really amazing to go from kind of the television, film, and Los Angeles theater world, which is kind of I've been in really huge, amazing regional professional productions. But I would say that all of the years, the culmination of experience that I've like stuffed down my throat throughout, my 20s, really did prepare me for Broadway. That being said, I don't think anything prepares you quite for Broadway until you're doing it. And I don't know what that experience is like, for a dancer or for an ensemble swing or, an understudy or a standby or anything like that. But I don't think anything in the world could prepare you for playing Elphaba in Wicked on Broadway. Although I will say that, thank God, I did have the multitude of different kinds of experiences because I was ready to be thrown anything, and I was ready to work my little tushy off, and I was ready to absolutely like throw anything at the wall to see what stuck. So I think that, well, yeah, but having my first Broadway job at 20, I was 28 when I got it, is crazy. And it kind of goes to show that age ain't nothing but a number, and that when it happens, it means that it's time for it to happen. So that was kind of my biggest takeaway. Good
All right,
question.
great. So your movement from Hollywood, LA, and television, like Glee Project and stuff, to Broadway and theater, in my opinion, is a bit controversial. So is it any linked to like your personal disappointment in TV industry, or is it just something that you always wanted to do and you just want to pursue those two as like together in your career?
Oh, interesting. No, I never moved from one to the other. It actually was the opposite. I was in theater, training in theater and performing in theater from I was doing opera from the age of 7 till about 16. And then I moved from that training and those shows and productions to shows, in my hometown. And then when I went to Los Angeles, Glee Project kind of fell into my lap. The audition did. I happened to be in the right place at the right time, knew the right person, and was given the opportunity to audition for the show. And then I was filming Glee Project and doing panto. I was doing stage panto at the same time. And then I filmed Glee. And then I was in Texas doing the last 5 years. And then I did Spring Awakening. And then right after that, I was doing Drop Dead Diva. And then right after that, I was doing Lifetime shows. And then right after that, I was doing stage shows in Los Angeles. And then I got booked in Grey's Anatomy. And then, so it was just I kind of ping-ponged between the two. Definitely no disappointment, but I won't lie. I never felt like there was a time where I was like, wow, this really isn't working for me. Maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe this isn't my path. Maybe I should try something else. There was definitely never a point where I thought, well, I can't be a television and film actor, so I'm going to do theater, or I can't be a theater actor, so I might as well do television and film. I kind of was really lucky having the opportunity to jump between the two and see what I really loved. And I'm so grateful to be able to do Broadway, because I definitely didn't think Broadway would ever come around. This was my first Broadway audition. And I got my first Broadway audition when I was 28. So it kind of goes to show, like, I just had never been given an opportunity to audition for Broadway. And I was like, well, if I'm not auditioning, in my 20s, my early 20s, I'm never going to get a chance to. And it kind of goes to show what the hell I know, which is nothing about anything. So, yeah. And I get that question a lot of, which do you prefer, television and film or theater? And it's hard. I don't think I prefer. I think as long as I'm performing, as long as I'm learning lines and acting and playing dress up and doing the work, I'm so happy. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for me.
Right, great. So you being such all-rounded actor, TV, movies, television, do you have any special like practitioners or teachers or coaches that work constantly with you to make you and help you achieve what you currently achieve?
Great question. I've never been asked this one. Yes. I've never really taken acting classes except for when I was in school. When I got to LA, a lot of people were very kind to me and said that I didn't need to take acting classes, but that I should take audition classes, because they're two very different things. Being able to audition and put everything into, anywhere between a 2 to 7 minute package in a room quickly for a casting director is a very different skill than having a job and going away and doing the work for hours and hours and doing the rehearsals and doing the filming and all of that. And so I had a really amazing scene work and acting or audition coach, and her name was Sarah Mornell, and she was amazing. She's Los Angeles based. I've taken lessons with Rachel Lawrence Douglas, who anybody that has ever worked on Glee or that she was my music director for the Spring Awakening that I was in 2012. And she's done, Rebel Wilson. And I mean, just like the most amazing people. She's been able to teach them how to use their voices. my current vocal coach in Los Angeles her name is Kathy Deach, and she is an original Wicked cast member, which is really a funny little coincidence. So when I went to audition for Wicked, I gave her a call and I was like, hey, it's happening. What do I do? And she was like, come over. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be great. I've taken voice with a woman named Maya Sykes, and she's a postmodern jukebox artist, and she's incredible. And in New York, I take voice with a woman named Joan Lader, and she is hugely famous and successful. Any incredible Broadway singer that you've heard, not me including, I'm talking people with Tony Awards, they take with Joan. And I was very lucky that my music director in Wicked is very good friends with Joan. And so he messaged her and was like, we have a new Elphaba. Would you want to give her lessons? And she was like, send her my number. And wow, the things that I've learned. So yeah, I think even before my professional life, I've had incredible Shakespeare professors and incredible opera vocal coaches, and just really, really amazing teachers that I would not have succeeded without. So yeah, absolutely.
Great. So you're currently starring as Elphaba in Wicked. So speaking about Wicked, there are two competing sides, good and bad, Glinda and Elphaba. Gina, Claire, and yourself. So did you bring any bad characteristics or any bad sides of you into the original character or Elphaba, or did you use the majority from the original script?
That's a good question. I think there's something to be said about absolutely bringing yourself and your own experience to a character. And I really relate to Elphaba desperately wanting she has these good intentions, right? No good deed goes unpunished. And I really stand by the principle of intention does not negate impact. So all of her good intentions are like bullets being fired out of a gun, right? She's like, but I didn't, I wasn't shooting at you. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter. I have a bullet hole in my arm. It doesn't matter. And I think that's something that I really relate to with Elphaba is having intense emotional reactions. I'm a hard on my sleeve kind of person. And so I really understand it when she hears something she doesn't like, she just goes, I hate that. Stop. And I'm very similar to that. And that while that can be used for good, it can get you in a lot of trouble. But I think the beautiful thing about stepping into a role that's been running on Broadway for 17 years, they have such an incredible grasp of this character. And this character has been molded by so many amazing women over the years, that there are certain things, not that other people have come up with, but there are certain things that have created this character with all of the creatives that run the show and that rehearse the show and that cast you for the show. There are specific things that they want in each scene, the way that you would do it. Like I saw before I went on, I would sit in the audience after a long day of rehearsal, and I'd watch Hannah do it, or I'd watch Jenny DeNoia do it. And they were like, I want you to watch tonight just so you can see where they're moving. So I could put my rehearsal brain onto the stage. And they went, but if you come into rehearsal tomorrow doing anything that those girls have done, you're in so much trouble. And I was like, oh, wow, they really want you to come and bring your Elphaba. And my Elphaba is so different from Hannah's, or Jessica Vosk or Jenny DeNoia's. But the reason why so many people will watch a video, or a bootleg or something of Wicked and go, oh, this person reminds me of this person, or this person reminds me of this person, is because we've all been given the same character notes and the same specificities that create Elphaba. We just do them a little bit differently. So people will be like, oh, that growl sounds like Rachel Tucker, or that sounds like so-and-so. And it's like, well, that's in the script. Like it's in the script. So of course it does. But yeah, I think that's the fun and the beauty of like, we all just get to put on the Elphaba dress and play for a little bit. And then we hand the Elphaba dress to somebody else.
All right.
Cool.
So yeah, you touched based on rehearsal process. So how long did it actually take you since you first took the script till you actually started on February 25?
I got the call on the 2nd of January that I would be going in, and my first rehearsal was on the 28th. So I flew on the red-eye flight to New York on the 26th, and I landed on the 27th, and then I woke up on the 28th and I went to work. It was bananas. And they sent me a PDF of the script and I read through it, and they sent me some music before I got to New York to just kind of work on and to see if there were any parts that confused me and that we would need to really hash out. And excuse me, I'm drinking so much coffee. And then when I got to New York, I started on the 28th of January, and then I had my put in, I think it was on the 22nd of February, and then I did not have another day of rehearsal after that. So it was about, with, if you take away the days off that we got every Monday, I had something like 22 days of rehearsal. It was a little under, it was like 4 weeks. Which is insane to think that like you can just throw somebody in and in 22 days they'll know an entire Broadway show. And then on the 25th, I was shot out of a cannon and started my run. It was crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, you again mentioned something about your costume, and Elphaba's costume is something that every theater nerd and theater lover likes to talk about.
It's iconic.
So you have a lot of elements to your costume and also the makeup. How many dresses or the wardrobe department people work with you each night to create Elphaba?
Yeah, I always say Elphaba would not happen without her team. Truly, all I do is I stand like this and I sit and I let people make me become Elphaba, and then I open my eyes and I go, oh, I should go on stage now. I'm not kidding. Like, it really is a group effort, and I'm just the person that has to sing and say my lines and get to point A to point B. I have an amazing dresser named Melissa. I have an incredible makeup artist named Craig. Craig Jessup has been doing the makeup for like 15 years or something like that. And then Mary Kay is my wig girl. And Elphaba has her first act costumes, which is her shiz uniform, and then the shiz uniform gets broken down into the party frock, and then the party frock you get the Galindified stuff put on top of it, and you change your shoes and everything, and then after that you go into Emerald City in that same outfit, and then you have the fastest quick change ever. It's maybe 20 seconds into the Defying Gravity black dress and the hat and all of that. And then act 2, you are pretty much through the whole act, you're just in the dress, in the big, beautiful, elemental earth dress. And then you change, after you melt, you change into her kind of nightgown Elphaba. And then for bows, we change back into the gorgeous 17-pound dress.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So how long does it actually take you to become all green?
This is a question a lot of people ask me because it's shocking. I will get there. I always get to the theater early. I'm somebody that needs like an hour to warm up, to stretch, to do, to get in the space, to feel like I'm there, like I'm doing my work. And I I will sit down at about 5 minutes to the half hour call, and Mary Kay will pin curl my hair, and I'm usually drinking tea or warming up or doing straw phonation or something, and then or just gabbing away, just talking away, and Craig will come in and go, all right, my dear, and he'll take out it almost looks like an archaeologist kit. Like, he just goes and all the brushes are there and the cake is there and like the green pans, and then he'll start watercoloring me green, and I get done around, it's either Glinda, why does wickedness happen? Or Glinda, is it true you were her friend? Oh no, that's not true. It's not. It's look, it's Glinda, or it's Glinda, why does wickedness happen? It's usually one of those two. I get done about 5 to 8 minutes into Act 1. And then I walk on, then I get dressed, I get my hands put on, I get my hands painted, I get everything on, and then I walk. I have like maybe 2 minutes to myself to kind of have a glug of water, and then I go on stage. It takes about 35 minutes. But if something happens and the standby has to go on for any reason in the middle of the show, they can get Elphaba on within 7 minutes, which is mind-blowing to me. Yeah. Mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is. So Wicked, in my opinion, I have seen it 4 times in London and Broadway. And in my opinion, is one of the technically difficult shows on Broadway. So to you personally, what is the technically hardest number? Because you fly, you do a lot of tricks. What is the
Yeah.
technically hardest number that you perform on stage?
I would say, I feel like Defying Gravity, the ending is hard because as a vocalist, when you stay up in your stratosphere of your range and like your power, when you are like that can get really tiring because you're staying up for so long. And I think, you've gone through an entire act and you're just like, I just need a drink of tea. I find the ending of Defying Gravity to be kind of exhausting but exhilarating. Like there's nothing cooler than being like 30 feet above stage and just like screaming at everybody. It's a blast. But I think that technically one of the most difficult things is the fact that before Defying Gravity and before No Good Deed, you are sprinting to trap doors. So anytime, like the cornfield scene when Fiyero swings in, Elphaba runs off stage, and then she's running downstairs. I don't know how they do it in London, but we run down what are called suicide stairs, and then we sprint to a trap door, and I can hear Glinda, I'm so sorry, take him out to that field, da da da, and I have to be there and waiting. And I hear a stagehand operator go, she's in, and then you just hear and then and you're going right up. You have maybe 20 seconds, like maybe like 30, not even. It's so hard. And it's the same for Defying Gravity, where it's just like you get there right on time and it's really tired. And then you have to sing your face off. It's hard, but it's awesome. It's really hard, but it's one of the best challenges. It's so cool.
All right, so 20 minutes have just gone by. So the last question.
Already?
Yeah. So the last question from me is, could you please suggest any other two actors on Broadway that I can do similar types of talks? The same format, same length?
Well, I'm brand new to Baby Broadway. So I'm wondering, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about people in my cast. I know Riley is very, very fun to talk to. He plays our Bach, Riley Costello, and Sam Gravitt. They are amazing. And Sam went in at the same exact time as me, so he probably has some really cool insight on, and he was in the tour for a little while before he went to play Fiyero on Broadway, and we rehearsed at the same time, and he would probably have some really cool insight. And Riley has been on Broadway like 4 or 5 times. Wicked's like his 4th or 5th show. So he's just like a plethora of information, and they're men in the industry. They're gay men in the industry. So it's really awesome, and they have so much beautiful insight. And yeah, I would absolutely suggest more Wicked, more Wicked always Wicked, always only Wicked. There's no other answer.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah. Thank you so much for spending your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did.
So nice to meet you. Thank you for having me do this.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Angel. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah,
bye.
Have a good one too. Bye. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me today with this interview or talk with Lindsay Heather Pearce. I hope that you enjoyed it. There is a lot new content coming up and a lot of new talks, as you heard. Lindsay recommended me to other people, so I will just contact them and just stay tuned. The announcements are gonna be very, very soon for the next talks. And thank you so much again. Stay safe, stay healthy. I know it's very hard times, and have a good one.